For the pregame show, previewing Game 5, we're hanging out here at the BetMGM Sportsbook at Steve Park Stadium for our watch party. So far, so good out here.
Yes.
We all had a pre-game show collaboration about what bets we were taking.
Yes.
And I think we got some good ones.
I think we did too.
I think we do.
I think we're going to win a lot of money tonight.
Yes, we will get into that a little bit later in the show. But first and foremost, everybody, breaking news, the beef has been squashed. It's official.
Kinda.
Friends again.
Look at this. Look how beautiful this is.
Joker gifted him a ball. They shook hands. They smiled in front of the cameras, made sure that the cameras were there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a good sign.
Fantastic for them.
Yes.
Listen, I know, like initially when Jokic came out, he didn't acknowledge Matt Ishbia, and our own Ryan Gree caught that, and he was like, "Oh, it looks like there's still tension." I was like, chill, just chill. Like my man's focused. He's getting out there. He wants to get some shots up. Then he came back out. They had a good laugh, and they moved on. But my favorite part of all this is that the gentleman that was sitting right next to Matt Ishbia goes by the name of Mel Tucker. And if you don't know who Mel Tucker is, he was the head coach at Colorado and then left to take a much bigger salary at Michigan State University. And Colorado fans are bitter, like really bitter about that. You know who was the primary donor for that contract? Matt Ishbia. And so when Denver fans looked at that image, they were like, oh, yeah. Fuck this guy. They are all types of salty. It's all over the timeline. It's beautiful. Matt Ishbia, your troll skills are A1, sir.
Yes. So Matt Ishbia has officially become one of our favorite people here in Phoenix for sure. Obviously, of course, taking ownership of the Suns and Mercury was check number 1.
Yes.
Check number 2 was getting us a point, getting his job done, as Devin Booker said in Game 4. Check number 2. And then today, trolling Denver Nuggets fans. Check 3. Matt Ishbia, welcome to the family. It's official. You're one of us now.
Yeah, one of us. One of us. Yeah, absolutely.
So good stuff there to start off this Game 5 shenanigans. We do have some things ahead of tonight's game that we want to share with you guys. Of course, the injury report is one of those. On the Suns side of things, Chris Paul still remains out. On the Nuggets side of things, though, no injuries to report. Now, I know a lot of people have been paying attention to the officials. So have you been paying attention to the officials as much as a lot of the fan base has?
No, I don't care about the officials.
Really?
Chris Paul's not playing, so I don't care about the officials. I don't care who they are.
I have seen we've had conversations in the Discord. I've seen it on Twitter. Everyone wants to know who's officiating just based off of their track record, Chris Paul aside, like the Chris Paul, Scott Foster shenanigans aside, just to know what you're kind of in for as far as how the game is officiated. So tonight's officials, you've got David Guthrie, you've got Bill Kennedy, and Brian Forte. Okay. So
Bill Kennedy has been a little finicky with the Suns because I always feel like Bill Kennedy is a great referee, but he lives in the Valley. And I always feel like there's a little part of him that feels like he has to overcompensate to not make it appear that he is playing favorites with the Phoenix Suns. I'm here to tell you, I don't think the referees could give a shit less if it's their hometown team or not. They're going to referee these games as best as they can. And Bill Kennedy is a good official, but he has been a little ornery with the Suns in the past. So hopefully not a big deal. Again, the Nuggets fans will tell you straight up and down that the reason why they lost the last 2 games was because of the officiating and how bad it was. Like, take your L and walk.
Yeah, and there was that one missed call that came out afterwards on DA, which I get but like, join the club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, we do complain about it when it's against our team. Of course, you're going to complain about it when it's against your team, but
I don't think
it is what it is.
I don't think any of the games could you possibly say that the refs influenced the outcome. I don't. I think poor play influenced the outcome by the team that lost.
I would agree in this series for sure. Yeah. I don't think you could say that the officials fully influenced the outcome of the game in any of them, 100%.
Also, side note, I know you have a allergy with alcohol. Is this too strong to smell for you? Because the tequila soda here at the MGM Sportsbook, the BetMGM Sportsbook, is potent.
It is. I can smell it all the way over here. When you first had it, because Triple B from the chat is out here at the watch party and bought you a drink tonight. You and Shane both.
Yes.
I was sitting on the opposite side of the table from you, and I was like, damn, even over here I can smell that. So
also, Jay was in the chat. Jay was in the chat, and he said, let me in. He's right here. He's right over here hanging out. He's having a good time with his peeps. It's going to be a fun night tonight. I'm hoping for a big Game 5 win because this place is going to get really, really loud.
Yeah.
It's an experience. You got to come out and check it out. Otherwise, you'll never know what it's about.
Absolutely. All right.
I rhymed.
Oh, no? Gosh. That was that one step too far thing. Okay.
Enough.
Game starters. Tonight, Monty is riding with the same group. We got Devin Booker.
That's not the starting lineup I saw
KD,
online.
We got Campaign. We got Josh Kogi, and we got DeAndre Ayton. But if you watch the PHNX_sports account. Sorry, Campaign. You got to go back to the bench because one Matt Ishbia is suiting up for the Suns tonight.
The point guard we didn't know we needed.
I don't even want to say it. I was going to make a joke about the point guard, but I feel like that's just too mean at this point.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, is it time to pass the torch of the name point guard?
Yeah,
I know. I kind of missed it there.
No.
Swing and a miss. Anyway, moving on. So we got Game 5 on our hands.
Point apostle. One of the followers, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not up into my biblical terms.
Sure. Back in Denver tonight, series is tied 2-2. I think the pressure, and I'm pretty sure everybody around the Valley has been talking about this all yesterday and today. The pressure is on the Denver Nuggets now. They're the ones who have to adjust to what the Suns are doing. And so the Suns are in a good place. And Nuggets head coach Michael Malone knows full well that they have to do something else with Devin Booker. Here's what he said before today's game.
So we have to give Devin Booker different looks. It can't be the same thing for 48 minutes. He's a great player. This guy had 2 40-point games in the NBA Finals. So you have to give him different looks somehow, some way. And so we'll look to be aggressive with him at times, and other times we may not be as aggressive. Try to keep him off balance as best as possible. But if we're going to go down, I still want somebody other than Devin Booker to beat us because that guy is lethal. And give Landry credit, but Devin Booker is a bad man.
So if we're going to go down, we want somebody not named Devin Booker to beat us. Do you think that's a smart game plan for them?
I mean, you got to change something up because those 2 games you saw what Devin Booker can do to you, and he can absolutely cook you, and he's been playing at such a high level. You got to change something up. But again, the problem is that you got Kevin Durant on the other side. And if you think Devin Booker could cook you, Kevin Durant can do the same exact thing. Yeah. So I personally feel like we've been due a Kevin Durant game. I know he had 39 points a couple games ago, but it wasn't the same kind of 39. Like, he wasn't like efficient. He shot like,
it wasn't like masterful.
Yeah, like it was pretty choppy. I think tonight, if there's going to be a Kevin Durant game, tonight is the night that you're going to see that Kevin Durant game. Like Nets versus Bucks, Game 7, foot on the line, Kevin Durant, where he was hitting everything in that game.
Yeah. I hope we do get to see it because I would love to see that game from Kevin Durant. We've slowly started to see KD feel more confident and comfortable on this Suns squad. And I also think it's interesting, too. So this will be his 9th game with the Suns. So more games than he played in the regular season with the Suns. We've got more playoff games under our belt with KD on the squad than we did regular season games.
Okay.
Which is helpful because you're playing at the highest of levels, right? So he's getting more comfortable, but in the best way possible with his new team. Do you think that they're going to double book harder than they have already?
I don't know what they're going to
that aggressive with it.
I mean, they did try to do that a couple times in the last game, and it just didn't work out as well because, listen, the other thing about Devin Booker is he's become a much, much better facilitator and passer. Like, he just has. He learned a lot from Chris Paul, and so he learned a lot from that Mavericks series last year where he was getting doubled and he just did not handle it well at all. This year, he has a plan. He knows what he wants to do. He knows how to navigate those double teams, and he gets other people, in the best positions to be able to do something with that ball once they receive it. And if Denver's going to throw doubles at Devin Booker, especially if we're talking about the hash mark extended. Okay, so on the side of the basketball court, obviously there's a hash mark right around almost even with the top of the three-point line, horizontally. If they send doubles extended to like between that and half court, you leave too much space behind you for Kevin Durant, for DeAndre Ayton, and all those guys. In last game, we saw Landry Shamet to be able to maneuver around and really execute you on the offensive side. Like, so be careful what you wish for, because those dudes like Terrence Ross, TJ, this could be a game where you see one of those guys drop 20 and the Denver Nuggets lose this game because they try to overcompensate by sending a lot of doubles to Booker.
Yeah. I mean, as Mike Malone said, you got to do something. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you have been throwing at Book so far outside of game one, and I don't know that I would say that that was 100% because of what the Nuggets were showing him. More maybe just 50-50, I guess, an off night for Book, and then maybe some of what the Nuggets were doing. It hasn't stopped him yet.
Yeah.
So you either have to get more aggressive with it, or and like the Suns kind of did with Jokic. Jokic got his 50, right? His 50 piece the other night. Let everyone else beat you.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to stop Book from doing that and trying to make everyone else beat you.
I also think that the other, the other part of this is also Aaron Gordon played pretty well he played really well in those first two games, right? The next two games, not so much. Again, this is starting to turn into a series where it's all about the benches. What bench unit is going to step up? And right now, to me, because you got TJ and Terrence involved in the offense, you got them in some run. They feel better than they did before. I can see this turning a little bit, but you got to slow down Aaron Gordon. To me, Aaron Gordon's the key to this series. If he doesn't play very good, I feel like the Suns have more of a hold on the game. If he plays very good, then I feel like it gets a little, tenuous out there.
I think one of the things that the Suns and strategy, or just by happen chance, that would be the best case scenario is Aaron Gordon pick up 2 quick fouls. We saw that happen in game 3 and 4 in Phoenix. He had 2 fouls pretty early on in the game. And I think when you start the game picking up 2 quick ones like that, it kind of throws you off for pretty much the remainder of the game. And I think that was a big factor in Aaron Gordon and how he played in game 3 and game 4. I'm not saying that's the only issue, but I do think that it changes your mindset a little bit. You have to play a little bit more cautiously. If the Suns can get him 2 fouls early on, that's going to be a huge benefit for them to keep him from being able to be one of those guys, those role players on the Nuggets squad who does go off. I'm so nervous and excited at the same time to watch what the role players on the Suns do tonight, because that's always been the conversation here is role players play better at home. Who's going to travel first? Who's going to travel best first? And hopefully the Suns role players have picked up enough momentum, have found some rhythm now that we've mixed it up a little bit, inserting TJ Warren and Terrence Ross and Jock Landale and Landry having a big game 4, that hopefully that momentum traveled with them to Denver and we see somebody knock down some really big shots with them.
I was excited for game 1. I am far more excited about tonight's game because I feel like the Suns know, like, man, if we can grab this, then we come back home, we set ourselves up for success in game 6. And you're looking at how things are shaking out around the league right now. I really, really am starting to feel like the winner of this series, first of all, will go to the NBA Finals and has a really good shot at winning the championship. I believe that about this specific series. And I think the Suns can kind of sense that and they can kind of feel it. Devin Booker, for sure, feels that. And he's like, you know what? Devin Booker's been amazing these last couple of games. And as long as he doesn't try to do too much, just plays within his game like he has been, he's going to be phenomenal tonight. But Kevin Durant, you talk about big games and showing up in big games. Kevin Durant does that. Tonight is one of those nights where Kevin Durant can cement himself as officially arrived as a Phoenix Sun here in the Valley and really put his stamp on this team. Man, I'm really excited about this game because I just feel like there's so many different levels to how it could go and who could step up and who can't. And man, let's just get it started.
We're almost there. We're about 15 minutes and some change away. But one more thing that I did want to bring up that Michael Malone said in his pregame interview. Kellen Olson had tweeted this out, said, Michael Malone said this series comes down to transition defense alone. Cited the Nuggets as last in that category and the Suns' success. He's watched back the tape a lot and compared it to a horror movie. Noted how the Suns the Nuggets are jogging and Booker and Payne are sprinting. Now he did go on to say, how great of a player Chris Paul is, and that this is like no shade to him, but the Suns have played much faster without him. And I think that's something that we did talk a lot about in games 3 and 4, and wearing Jokic and other Nuggets down a lot, especially when you're putting so much on Jokic's plate in these games. And now you're going back to Denver. You got a higher altitude. You think the Suns can still outrun them?
I think they can. Again, Michael Malone plays 8 guys in his rotation. That's it. That's all he's played. Braun, Green, and I'm forgetting the third one off the bench, but that's basically where it stops. And if it seemed like in Phoenix, that team got worn down, especially Jamal Murray and Jokic. Well, Jamal Murray, I should say. The Suns, and Michael Malone doesn't trust his bench enough to go deep into the bag and pull a Zeke Naji out or something like that, or maybe even a Reggie Jackson. I don't think he feels comfortable doing that. The heat was put on Monty to really try to find somebody else on that bench, namely TJ Warren and Terrence Ross, to produce. And he did that because he had that in his bag. He had that as an option. He let him go because, hey, it was game 3, and you might as well, because there's nothing to really lose at this point. You lose this game, series is probably over. And TJ and Terrence came through. He played that card. Now it needs to travel, and those guys need to help. And as long as the momentum keeps going and the ball keeps getting pushed up the court, I feel like the Denver Nuggets could also tire out as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all shakes out. I'm a believer in Cam Payne's ability to push the tempo. I think it's what suits the Suns best. And if they should win this game, and even if CP3 is healthy, I would sit him out in game 6.
I kind of wonder if you just ride with
Cam
Payne.
Just ride.
I mean, you might be able to slowly incorporate Chris Paul back into the mix of things. Maybe you set it up as if it's a minutes restriction and yada yada yada, as to not make a whole big stink about Chris Paul not being the guy for the Suns. But in this series specifically, I think Cam Payne has been really good for them. And I will give credit to Chris Paul, because Cam Payne did talk a lot about him yesterday at practice and said that Chris Paul has been in his ear the whole time saying, this is your team. Go out there, run your team like you're supposed to. So there is this is still my team, and while I'm away, you can have it. There's no vibes like that whatsoever. He is 100% in Cam Payne's corner, cheering him on every step of the way.
I've never heard people say that Chris Paul's a bad teammate necessarily. They just don't like the way he comes across. Right?
But clearly he's changed enough, or at least in this situation.
But he's always done that. He's always coached up guys, on his team or off the bench or whatever. He's always done that. But some players don't like that.
Yeah.
They don't like, dude, you're not the coach. Stop talking to me like you are. They just get defensive. And so that's why he rubs some people a lot, and he talks a lot. Apparently he talks a lot. And some people just don't like that. I think Chris Paul's always been a good teammate. He always cares about the improvement of players in the improvement of the team, and he wants to help out. So to hear Cam Payne say that is no surprise.
Yeah, Chris said in the chat, the nice thing is we still have CP3's brain on the bench.
Nope.
That is nice. It's always good to have Chris Paul in your corner. We did get a super chat from Frank. Frank, thank you for your super chat. They said, you can't stop Book. Book is book. Cook, book, cook.
All right, Dr. Seuss.
I did pretty good with that one, considering it's kind of a tongue twister there. I'm not going to lie. But Frank, thank you so much for your super chat. All right, what are we wearing tonight, Emma? What's on the table? We've got Suns in the Icon edition and the Nuggets in the City edition. So we're going to see a little purple out there. How you feeling about purple?
Yeah. It's better than the white.
It is better than the white.
It's way better than the white. So I'm here for it.
And the white did not do well for us in games 1 and 2. No, so let's move right on along.
Just burn them.
I think I saw somebody on Twitter when this first came out that Suns were wearing purple, that they said throughout this season they have been the best jerseys we've won, record-wise. So that could be a good thing.
I hope so.
That could play into our favor a little bit.
I hope so.
Who you got tonight, by how much?
I got the Suns by 1.
Shocker.
You could just put that on the screen for this point until the season's over.
I have Suns by 2 and Gerald has Suns by 3. So we are all in agreement that this will probably be a pretty close game, which the last 3 games have been. The first game was we're just going to throw that one out the door. But the last 3 games have been pretty close games for these two teams. So I don't think this is going to be an easy ride whatsoever to get out of this series, but I do think it is doable by the Suns.
Agreed. Listen, it's time to step up. It's time to get one on the road. Tonight's the night to do it.
Yes.
Because you never know how Game 7 is going to play out. Like, just let's go.
Yeah. We've got a couple in the chat. Ken said Suns by 9. Charles says Suns by 4. Classy has Suns by 11. Okay. You guys are feeling real good about this game. Love to hear it. BetMGM, how are they feeling about this game, though?
Ooh.
That's the question.
Man, that is kind of a shocker. A 6.5-point spread right now? Like, that's crazy. And our degenerate gambler is on the mic right now. Shane Diefenbach.
So
what you got?
The public did this, actually.
Okay.
I believe it opened at 4.5 at most books, including BetMGM, and it was bet all the way up to 6.5 since yesterday. And the money line, I think, is at plus 210 now. I checked this morning, and 98% of the money, not the bets, but the money, was on the Nuggets, and 70-something% of the bets were on the Nuggets. It's now gone down to 88 or so percentage of the money. So just a ton of money is on the Nuggets, and it shifted the line that much. So the book's open at 4.5, but it's gotten all the way up to 6.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This series has been wildly unpredictable in terms of the money line. So I'm a big guy. I'm a big Suns guy tonight. I feel like they're at a minimum they're going to cover the spread. I feel cautiously optimistic about the Suns' chances tonight.
I think that's a good way to approach this one. So I told you guys at the beginning of the show we had a little powwow before the pregame show started, and we all decided on bets that we were going to all take together. So we get to root with each other on these bets. So let's see what we've got here. I know we all agreed we're taking Suns money line because it was a plus 210 about 30 some odd minutes ago. So that's good money. And then we decided there was a Lions boost on the BetMGM app, which gave you even better odds. It went from a plus 350 to a plus 450.
That's because Devin Booker and Kevin Durant need over 30 points apiece, and the Suns need to cover the spread, if not win the game.
Yes. So there's that. And then I am going with campaign first field goal separately because it's a plus 1,200. And I took first field goal in games 3 and games 4, and I lost both of them. And campaign has at least tried to knock down that first bucket in both of those games. So I'm just going to go with what seems to be the move for campaign when he gets the start. So hopefully he makes it tonight.
I'm going to go DA again.
You're going to go DA again?
Yeah, I'm going to keep going to that well. I just feel like he's going to get one.
Okay. I'm not mad at those picks. If you guys want to get in on the action, make sure you do it soon before tip-off starts. If you have not signed up for the BetMGM app yet, make sure you download it and use that bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, you will get up to $100 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. Again, if you use that bonus code PHNX. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
And, of course, all of our watch parties out here at the BetMGM Sportsbook are brought to you by Neutral Vodka Seltzer. They do vodka seltzer right. They are made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Their light and refreshing taste will show you exactly what a vodka seltzer can be. Neutral has flavors including watermelon, pineapple, mango, and raspberry. And they did just launch their brand new flavor, orange, which is live and on the shelves, so be sure to get your hands on that. Find them at a local store near you by checking the show notes for details. All right, let's do a little Discord discussion. So if you are new here, we do offer PHNX diehard memberships, and that does get you access to our PHNX Discord. We're going to bring a little bit of that to the show today because there were a couple cool things that were being discussed in there this morning. So first and foremost, we had this tweet dropped in our Discord. It's from @JMurrayWorld. And they said, I know Adam Silver is cooking up some disgusting shit to make it KD versus Braun in the Western Conference Finals. He's not letting it be Denver. I know that for a fact. These next couple games will be hell.
I wonder
Fact
what he
or
was
fiction?
saying. That's complete fiction. Listen, if Adam Silver did not want the Suns to make it to the Western Conference, or the Suns to make it to the Western Conference Finals, he would have suspended Jokic in this game.
Right? Or is that too obvious for the writers? Is that too much of an obvious plot? Is that why he didn't suspend them, so that he could come back and be like, if I did, I would have done this, but I didn't?
All these Denver Nuggets fans, all they're doing is they're clamoring for reasons why they lost before they've even lost. They don't even have confidence in their team that they can win. And they have a very good shot at winning this series. Just as I think it's 50-50 between them and the Suns. Like, these Nuggets fans kill me. Like, they give up before it's even over.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
crazy.
it was interesting.
But they'll be the first ones to talk some shit after they win.
Well, it was interesting, too, because fans, right, were painting it as if the Nuggets were the underdogs in this series before it even started. And I was like, bro, you're the number 1 seed.
Yeah. And then after
the Suns don't have any All-Stars on their team.
And then literally not even fucking 4 minutes into that game. Oh, I guess Jamal Murray did matter, Suns. Like, Jesus Christ.
Right. So I just thought this one was hilarious, so I wanted to bring it out here because why not have a little bit of fun while we're talking about it. Then we had Psycho Blue, who dropped a nugget in the chat as well and said, I suspect Joker is going to get super chippy to avoid falling in a 3-2 hole. So we obviously saw a little bit of emotion from Nikola Jokic in Game 4. Do you think we see any more tonight?
Listen, if this game gets out of hand, we will. Listen, He's got it in him. He's got it in him.
This is fair. He does. I kind of think no, because even if it gets out of hand in the Suns' favor, I kind of feel like he's going to mind his P's and Q's tonight so as to not create an even bigger narrative from what happened in Game 4.
Okay.
So I think if there was a game where Jokic would have all of his emotions in check, even if things get out of hand, I don't think it's this one. I think it's Game 6.
Oh, man.
Or Game 7, where it gets a little bit too aggressive.
I could see Game 6 just completely getting out of hand before it even gets he even gets an opportunity to do anything. So, oh, man. I just hope everybody's healthy after this game. That's all I care about.
Yes, 100%. We definitely want a full, as much as possible. Obviously, we know Chris Paul is still on the sidelines, but Gerald, who has been at practices and shoot-arounds, has shared that Chris Paul is getting shots up. So that's a good sign. At least he's doing a little bit of court work now. But as healthy as possibly can be for the remainder of this series so that there are no excuses at the end of it, one way or the other. Thank you all for joining us for the pregame show. We appreciate you as always. And don't forget to meet us right back here after the game wraps up. Bye.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsey, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo.